Hey science crew, we are just finishing up fossils, and by now you know that fossils are one of the leftover clues to our evolutionary history and the past. But they're not the only ones that can give us hints and ideas about what the evolutionary history of us and other animals are. Embryos are one. Okay, they're another clue for evolution. So let's dig into that a little bit more. Okay, embryos are unborn or unhatched organisms. Okay, they're still in either their egg or inside their mother's uterus. And here are some examples. Okay, we have a chicken and a snake and a mole. Do you think you can identify which ones are which? It's kind of obvious. Okay, so let's see what they have to do with evolution. Okay, so in the beginning of the embryo stages, they have really similar development, and this means they have really similar genes. If you take a look at these two embryos, one is a mouse and one is a human. Okay, and these similar genes means they're more closely related by a common ancestor. Okay, at that early stage, in those early stages, the same genes are being used. Okay, those are the ones that are turned on. They're working. They're saying build a head, build legs, build a spinal cord. Okay, and then as the embryo develops, more genes turn on. And so if you look at this picture here, each one of these is a different species. Okay, they're all different species. Okay, and slowly the embryo begins to look more like an adult like the adult of the species. Okay, because more genes are turning on and saying grow fur or grow gills or grow a bigger brain. Okay, you start to see some differences. And then later in the development, even more differences arise. So some of the genes will say build a shell, build a beak, build hooves. Okay, those things come later. So you can kind of see some similarities with some of the animals that are more closely related. Okay, in the early stages, they might look really different when they're adults, but in the early stages, they share more genetic material. Okay, and that's because they're more closely related by a common ancestor. So we're going to use this information and do a little activity with it. And this is your assignment. You're going to go, and this is linked on Canvas, and you can find this in the next assignment on Canvas. You're going to play this interactive. Okay, I want you to go to this website. You're going to launch this, okay, by clicking on this button. And you're going to compare the appearance and development of the embryos. Okay, there's 4 of them on here. So you're going to click through them, and you're going to guess, and you're going to watch how they develop. And by the end, you need to answer which of the species in the game are more closely related. So pick 2 of the 4 that you think are most closely related and explain your conclusion based on your observations and your notes. And be specific and give examples. So I want you to compare what the face shape is and what the limb shapes are, what the body shapes are, and you can use that to see if you can figure out which 2 animals are most closely related on here. Okay, and then you're going to submit that on Canvas or write it down and turn it into the basket. Now, I'm considering this an assessment. It's a small one, but it's still an assessment, so it counts for a little bit more. So take this seriously. And it shouldn't take you more than a class period. So get it done and you can work on some of your other things. But if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask me, or you can shoot me an email if you're not in class. So I will see you later.